Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel, and this is the final Train Sim World 4 video that you're going to see on the channel, and that is because tomorrow we have got early access to TSW 5, so we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I've come back to one of my old favourite haunts, which actually isn't a TSW 4 route, but you know, I'm kind of cheating a little bit. I'm playing it in TSW 4, and that is the Northern Transpennine with the heavy freight pack. So we've got loaded oil, so it's a heavy old train, this one, and we're going between Stalybridge and up to Huddersfield. We just got a green light, so just having a quick look around the station. I love this route. This is typical 80s, this route. Anyway, enough of that. Shall we get things set up? Then we'll have a talk about what's going on. So we need the master key first. We're putting it into forwards. We'll put the instrument light dimmer up in readiness for the instrument lights coming on. Head code light, instrument switch. Are there the tail lights, which we don't need? We'll open the window. And if I get out the seat. We don't have AWS working on this route. It predates it, but we'll put it on anyway for completeness. We've got our co-pilot with us today. He's coming along for the ride, and don't forget, we are in the absolutely majestic Class 40, the only thing fit for the job. So let's get the brakes off. And we just need to wait for the brakes to come down, and then we're going to need to take it very slowly, accelerating out of Stalybridge, because as I said, it's a heavy train. These are loaded tanks. There are some services with empty tanks, not this one. So we're going to put in a little bit of throttle, but not too much, and we'll let it take the strain. Obviously, we'll start to get some wheel slip if we overdo it. You can see the loco, if you line up against that green door, the loco's trying to move. We'll just put a little bit extra in. There we are. Off we go. So we've got 15 coming out of Stalybridge. So we'll pop back into the cab. So let's do the admin first, because it's a little bit like DTG, this one. So tomorrow is early access if you have got the deluxe or special editions. So you get the 5 days early access to Train Sim World 5. So it releases on consoles at 6 PM UK time. Sorry, 4 PM UK time, 6 PM if you're on Steam or Epic. So 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So what I've done is, because I've had early access, if you go back on the channel, you will see that at 4 PM, so when you log on, you start downloading. If you want something to watch, there is a premiere scheduled on the channel, which is a full run in the Pendolino between London Euston and Milton Keynes. So if you want to go and watch that, that's about half an hour. That is going live at 4 PM on the 12th, followed shortly after at 5 PM with a little bit of a go at the guard mode on the Class 350 on the West Coast Main Line South. And you'll see tomorrow when you watch that video, that is a heck of a lot of fun. It really is. I really enjoyed that, as you'll see. You'll be able to tell when you watch it. So there's those 2 videos. I will also be releasing, I've got them recorded already, but they're not on the feed. There's a couple of tutorials, one in how to correctly set up the Class 350, and one on how to correctly set up the Class 390 Pendolino. Phew, I've been busy. I've been a little bit busy. And the plan then, later on the 12th, we will go live. We'll play some West Coast Main Line South, and then on the following nights, not sure which order, we'll play the Frankfurt Fulda route, and the night after that we will do the San Bernardino route, or I might swap those round depending on how I feel. By which time if you've got early access, you'll already be into it and you'll already be playing it. But good things are coming. But it's always sad to see the previous TSW leave the room, and this is TSW 4, and I think, you know, it's been a good. I think TSW 4 was a very enjoyable release. The good thing is that you're saying bye to a previous TSW. You're not saying bye to your previous routes. So although I am playing Northern TransPennine right now for the last video for TSW 4, I would be very sad if Northern TransPennine was disappearing completely. But of course it isn't, and it is available. If you own it, it is available again in TSW 5. So only the GUI is going to look different. The Northern TransPennine will still be there, as will all your other routes, so you can continue to enjoy them. The other thing as well, of course, is that your progress will transfer from previous TSW 4 over to TSW 5, as it did last year from 3 to 4. You remember there was a video on the feed where we had a look at moving from TSW 3 to TSW 4. So what I will do is, when I install TSW 5 on the PlayStation, I'll put a little bit of a video out about that as well, just in case you're not sure on how that works. So that's the admin. Shall we drive the train? Let's have a look outside, shall we? Once we clear the tunnel. In fact, we can get up to 60, so shall we give it the beans now that we're underway? Got plenty of clag coming out the top. You can tell it's heavy because we're not really accelerating that great, plus we're uphill as well, if you notice. These tanks look great. You can almost believe the oil has spilled out of these tanks. But the Class 40 is doing its thing. And even though it's only 15 miles to Huddersfield, it's a bit of a trek for this kind of weight. But yes, we do have a new era from tomorrow with TSW 5. What is it you're looking forward to most with TSW 5? Is there anything you'll miss from TSW 4? The next iteration of TSW should always be better than the previous one. So there's a lot of stuff that I can't talk about until tomorrow. That is quite nice. And once you get your hands on it, we'll obviously discuss that on the live streams once you've been playing it and once it's all out there. But I think hopefully those of you that have got the deluxe and special editions are just counting down now the final remaining hours until you get your hands on it. It's always an exciting time. Every time we've had a new TSW, it's always been very exciting. I think this time as well, the 3 routes that are coming as part of the standard edition and above, they're all really, really nice routes. You'll enjoy them. I know you're thinking, oh, he's just saying that because, you know, he's an ambassador and he doesn't tell us the truth. That's just nonsense. Honestly, that is. If you believe that, that's nonsense. Watch any of my old videos. I will tell you exactly how it is, and I can tell you that having had hands-on, these are very, very nice routes. So hopefully all your installations go fine on the 12th, and it's gonna be a difficult time for everybody that's not got the early access, having to wait till the 17th. But still, it's just a few more days, and you'll be able to play it. But it is coming. A few of you have been showing me your PlayStation screens showing the countdown where you've pre-ordered it, counting down the days, which is always quite nice, isn't it? And I don't know about where you are in the world, but the weather is terrible today. where I am, which is just the type of weather to stay in and drive a few trains. So it's all good. Right, we've still got 15 miles to go because we are on a very windy route, as you can see. So there's Huddersfield up there, we've got Leeds at the top. I would expect most of you watching this have got this route. But if you haven't got this route, why not? This route and the heavy oil pack, which came a little bit later, which adds this class 40 and the oil tankers, etc. Still one of the best routes in TSW. Before Blackpool branches, this was my favourite route by a mile, by an absolute mile. And that's because I like the BR Blue stuff. There's a lot of good stuff, isn't there, in TSW? And don't forget, talking about older stuff, we've got the Great Western Express remaster coming up quite soon. That's going to be nice revisiting that again, as it was with West Somerset Railway when we got the remaster. But the Great Western Express is going to be that's going to be a nice one. That was many people's first journey in TSW back in the day. Unless you were on PC and you had Sandpatch Grade, which was the very first route that was released. But certainly if you're on console, I bet many of you went to Great Western Express when you first loaded it up. If you can remember that far back now, back to TSW 2018. And I've got the disc for 2018 proudly sat on the shelf. I think that was the only one that I bought physically, and that was on the PS4. Since then, it's all been digital. Makes a lot of sense to go digital in some ways. So we're on the PS5 today for this run. And we're still struggling up that hill. We're not struggling, we're still accelerating, but at a very slow pace, as you would expect. Let's just check, actually. We are 1,238 tons. It's heavy, isn't it? Now, I do have the mastery switched on for this route as well, so that is of course hot air balloons, so we may see those further up here. We'll keep an eye out for those. Anybody remember this route in real life from back in the day? I know many of you have travelled up and down here. We've played this route quite a few times over the years, and somebody will always drop me a comment to say, I lived next to this route, or I used to travel on it as a kid, and I remember the BR Blue stuff going up and down and all. It's really nice, isn't it? Then we have TSW and TS Classic that can recreate those days. That's one of the good things about it. For many years you would have thought these days had gone, and then suddenly it turns up on your computer or your console. It's a really strange thing to get your head around, isn't it? And I know from Blackpool branches just how accurate the depiction is in TSW. It really is. I'm continually impressed in Blackpool branches with Preston Station and the surrounding of the station, and Ladywell House, the old railway buildings there. It is really like stepping back there, and I think this is why I've been so excited about Just Trades' new route for TSW5, which we know is the West Coast Main Line over Shap. BR Blue era as well. So we will have the 47s on there. and we will have the 87, of course, and there is a Loco DLC yet to be named. And it's fun to see a lot of you in the comments on the various videos on the channel debating what you think that Loco DLC is going to be. So we've had Class 86, which you could expect. We've had Class 86. We've had Class 50 suggested, and even the APT. The APT is... We've played that a few times on the channel, but the APT for TS Classic is one of the more better DLCs you can get for the West Coast Mainline Overshot. So it's possible, although I don't know if the era is quite correct for the setting of the West Coast Mainline Overshot Just Trains route. We'll need to see. But only one local DLC has been mentioned. That doesn't mean there's only going to be one. There could be several over time. But there's a lot to look forward to for TSW5 and onwards. It's exciting. Are you excited? I'm pretty excited. I'm excited, and I've played it. You guys have got the anticipation of not having played it yet. So I can't imagine what that's like. But it's good. That's all I'm saying. I'm not allowed to say anymore. That's the only thing Dovetail have told me. Don't tell anyone about it. So I'm not. So we'll see from tomorrow. So don't forget, if you go to install, if you're on console, you go to install it at 4 PM on the 12th. Just go to the channel now, and if you click the notification bell for the 2 premieres, it will notify you just before they go live. So you can watch those whilst you're downloading, and it'll just whet your appetite a little bit for that. So we got 12 miles to Huddersfield, and we're still going uphill. These are the Pennines after all. It's a 0.6% gradient, but sometimes these are a double head as well. Excuse me. Sometimes a double header, but we've only got a single 40 this time. Let's just go alongside this first tank. Track sounds and everything are great. So I can remember when Tees Valley came out, I was really excited for the Class 37. But any of these old Sulzer engine locos get me all excited. The 47, the 37, the 31, you know, all them. The 45 actually, so the Class 45 is the loco that you get with this route. If you just pick up the route itself, you get that, and you get the 101 of course, which is, well, it's like Marmite for some people, isn't it, the 101? Some people enjoy it, some people don't, because there's a lot to do to actually drive the 101. But yeah, the 45, if you just have the 45, that's a really nice engine to run up and down on the Northern Trans-Pennine. Done a lot of mileage in the 45, or the Peak as it's called. But yeah, the 37 was the one that I always wanted in TSW. If you were to ask me right at the beginning, which loco do you want, if you could have any loco, it would have been the 37 straight away. And it seems weird now because we've had the 37 for ages, and actually the 40, which I didn't know much about, is very similar in many ways, isn't it? Even the look of it from the outside, the physical look of it. And I enjoy this just as much. So I'm glad all these are in, and of course we can move them around, can't we? And we can run these. These actually layer into Blackpool branches as well. So they're not just confined to Northern Transpennine. The 31, for example, which was a local DLC for Tees Valley, I've used that everywhere. I've used it on the Southeastern High Speed, from memory, West Somerset, Blackpool branches, on here. You sometimes need to create your own scenarios to be able to do it, but they do layer in on a lot of places as well. So the services are already in there. They substitute in for other locals that are already in the timetable. But I don't think I will be. Well, I might actually set up a rail tour with some of these old ones on the West Coast Main Line South once that comes out in TSW5. I think a lot of people pretty much straight away, will be uploading new scenarios to Creators Club. I can just see it now. You know, by the end of this week, once it's released in early access, there'll be a lot of stuff on there, because I don't think there are any rail tour services included in the West Coast Main Line South, so everybody's just going to create their own. So the options there are endless. And that'll be a decent run, that, on a rail tour between London and Milton Keynes. So I'm quite looking forward to dipping back into Creators Club and just having a look what we've got there. Right, we're 10 miles out of Huddersfield. The semaphore signalling, of course, here. So I thought, you know, TSW4, play something you enjoy. I was tempted to do Blackpool branches as the very last one, and that actually was a TSW4 route. But, you know, much as I really enjoy that, I thought we'd have a slight change and come to the Northern Transpennine. And we'd sign off TSW4 with a bit of Northern Transpennine. I need to look down the feed actually to see just how many Train Sim World 4 videos are in the playlist. There's been quite a bit over this year, and the other TSWs before it, because obviously I've been putting videos out since the first TSW, so I've had a playlist. You'll find them on the channel if you're interested to go back and see how TSW has evolved. I've got a playlist on the channel for every TSW going back to the beginning, and it'd be interesting to look at the improvements both in the way the game works and how it looks graphically, just comparing it between TSW5 when that releases and what the TSW 18 actually looks like. I bet it's night and day, because you know when you get gradual updates as you move along the years, it's difficult to imagine what it looked like at the beginning to what it looks like now, you know, because it's been so gradual you've not really noticed. But I think you will see a difference, see a big difference. I might actually do that myself. I might go back and watch a few of my first 2018 videos. I might cringe, especially if I'm speaking. Things haven't got much better now, but definitely all those years ago, I'll go back and take a look. Although I think a lot of them were just gameplay at the beginning. I didn't have the kit available to be able to speak on many of them. It depends how long you've been playing TSW. I know some people are very new, and I know that a lot of people are going to be new from TSW5 onwards, because of course we've got the free starter pack, which I think is a really good move, because that will encourage a lot of new players to come in and just try it and You know, they've basically got a model railway around the training centre, which they can sort of use to see if driving trains is a thing for them. And then obviously they can bolt on, like we do, can bolt on whatever routes they want to pick up on top of that. I think that's a really good thing. So there'll be a lot of new players, and if you are new and you're new to the channel, welcome. You're most welcome. And I hope, you know, both new players and old enjoy the new game. I really do. So we will get to the end of this tunnel eventually. I think it's about 4 miles long, isn't it, this tunnel? We're 8.2 away from Huddersfield. And we're passing under a pretty big hill. So you can't go round it, there's a tunnel through it. And there's not a lot to see whilst we're in here. But we are moving along at 48 miles per hour. At the end of the tunnel we do have a 40, so you can see up there in the top right where the speed changes to a 40, that's the end of the tunnel. So I'm going to throttle down now because we're heavy. In fact, I will take the throttle off completely and I'll just put the first application of brake in so we can slow down very, very gradually. Don't want any mistakes. Just take the brakes off for now. See the end of the tunnel coming into view. And we're at the 40. So those of you that have been playing TSW for a while, where does this route, this Northern Transpennine, where does it sit in your top 10? Is it in your top 10 even? It's in my top 5 and certainly it's in my top 3 still. And if this gets some kind of remaster as well, well, that'll be a thing. And the reason they're doing these remasters is because, you know, the guys at DTG, you know, I've met them a few times. I've not met everybody, but I've met quite a few people, and they're all quite passionate about what it is they're doing. You forget actually that it's their job. You know, when you be talking to them, it doesn't always. It comes across on the channel. On the Train Sim World channel, when you're watching the videos, they're always quite excited about what they do. But actually, until you meet them in person, you don't really realise. And they're all really nice people, honestly, as you would expect, and they're really passionate about it. And so, you know, West Somerset Railway was just a passion project, wasn't it, for somebody at DTG who took it away and tried to improve it and. Gave it all the new lighting, etc. Put more services in, put more layers in. Great Western Express again is the same. And you know, if you own these routes anyway, you get the remaster for free on top of it. So you're kind of getting a little bit more for the money you originally shelled out. And you know, I expect a lot of these older routes now that the technology's moved on from when some of these routes were originally created, I'm sure there's going to be more of these remastered routes. And I can imagine the guys at DTG, having met them, I can imagine them sitting down going, ooh, I want to get this one sorted out to look like this, and I want to add these extra services in, and would it be good if we could do this? And you know what I mean? You do forget that it's their actual job. And yeah, they're quite a nice bunch. They are a nice bunch. And I put a picture to it on my Discord. If you're not in my Discord and you use Discord, have a quick look at the link in the description to this video. There's an open invite there to join the Discord. But I did manage to get, while I was down at DTG last time, I managed to get hold of a TSW5 poster for the key art with the you know, with the Pendolino for the deluxe edition, and I got Matt to sign it while I was down there. Matt Pedleston, the professor, and I framed it to go up on my wall. I did post a photograph of that on the Discord, so if you join the Discord, and you're more than welcome to join the Discord, it's open to everybody. We don't just cover Train Sim World, we talk about TS Classic, Third Bus, trucking games, you name it, anything that goes. But if you have a look there, join the Discord, go to the Train Sim World section, you'll see I posted a photograph of it in there. It looks a really nice poster, be a nice addition to the wall, that one. Right, we're at 65 because we're going downhill, a slight overspeed. So I'll put the brake into first application because we're 4.4 miles from Huddersfield and we're going to go hurtling in if we're not careful. So we'll just bring it down gradually because we've got a lot of stuff pushing us from behind. As you can see. So we spent a lot of time going uphill, now we're over the top, we get to run down the other side. So we'll just keep it in first application for now. So we get the speed down to a manageable level. One thing about TSW4, it's just reminded me looking at the speeds, etc. One thing that came with TSW4, which I think was one of the better improvements that's been made, is this minimal HUD. I've exclusively used this minimal HUD the whole time in TSW4. So even when using the German routes, so when PZB is on, if you remember the old HUD, some of you may still use it. You used to get down the bottom right hand corner in the actual dial type HUD, you'd be able to see your PZB warning lamps, the 1000 Hertz magnet, the 500 Hertz magnet, etc. on the German routes. When you use the minimal HUD, obviously with the UK stuff it's a bit easier. Once you get on the German routes, you've got to rely on using the dashboard a little bit more to be able to see those PZB lights. That took a little bit of getting used to, because remember at first on console you couldn't do this. You couldn't zoom in to have a closer look, so you'd be this distance away, you'd be trying to see the lights and read the dials, and that wasn't ideal. But I find now that because I use this minimal HUD, obviously I have more screen to look at. I have more of the game I can look at. And even with the German routes, this minimal HUD works really well. So I think one of the main things that came in with Train Sim World 4, and will now carry on to Train Sim World 5, was exactly that. The ability to use the minimal HUD. But not only that, it was the choice. You had a choice whether you wanted to use that or not. You could still use the old standard HUD if you wanted to, which is perfectly fine. But for more experienced players, you know, there's a little bit more minimal information now on here. And there's a 45 going back the other way. So I think if you were to ask me what is the one thing in Train Sim World 4 that made a big difference, I would say the HUD, definitely. What about you guys? What else came in TSW4 specifically that you enjoyed, that you thought was a game changer? There's probably a lot of stuff which I use that I've not even brought to mind. Right, 1.5 miles. Got a 50 coming up, but we're already 47. So we're alright speed wise. Got a 1% downhill right now, we'll need to keep an eye on that. As we go through the cutting. So the gradient should start to flatten out as we approach Huddersfield, and we will be through the tunnels and into the platform. It does say we're stopping at Huddersfield, so I don't know whether we're stopping in the station or whether we are pulling forwards or to the left to the yards. We'll find out very shortly. Here's the first of the tunnels, and it's at the end of the second tunnel where we go down to a 15. So that's the end of the second tunnel, is just before the platform. So this has been a nice little run. This was my last run in Train Sim World 4. This will be the last time I'm playing Train Sim World 4, so I wanted to share it with you guys. Many of you will be doing exactly the same thing today, I expect, knowing that TSW5 is available to you from tomorrow if you've pre-ordered the standard, sorry, the deluxe or special. And it's a sad day in many ways, but then it isn't. It's a strange feeling. You know something better is coming, something bigger and better. So, but no, as we always do with TSWs on this channel, we've had many happy times in TSW4. We've had many a stream. We've had many spads. We've had many Oxenholmes, and if you don't know what that is, go back to the last couple of Train Sim Classic videos. We've done an Oxenholme a couple of times, and we generally had fun. And it's a great, the Train Sim community is a great community, and many of you watch this channel just for the train related stuff. And it's not an end, it's a new era as we move into TSW5. So thank you to Coin a Phrase for sharing the ride with me on the channel. It's been a blast. And I will be back in the premieres tomorrow like nothing has happened. Actually no, you'll see in the premieres I'm quite excited. So you can tell that something has definitely happened in the premieres, because I'm quite hyped about it. And my voice keeps breaking, by the way, so apologies for that. Did too much talking. This is Huddersfield. As we emerge out of the tunnel. It looks as if we're not pulling into the platform, we are staying to the left. Got some coaches waiting. I think we've got a 47 over there waiting. And we want to make sure that we stop in good time as well. Let's just pull forward a little bit. It's a dirty old thing, isn't it, this? Got the 08 hiding there as well. I didn't see that there, I just thought this was an empty coach. Look at these people still on the coach. I don't think they're meant to be sat there, do you? They're looking out the window like to say, what am I doing here? Where is he taking us? Where is this Class 08 taking us? We'll need to be stopping right on the marker, I think, for this. This is not our red light, by the way, here, so you don't have to worry about that. So Huddersfield is my final destination in TSW4. So there we go. So thank you for joining me on this one. Have fun tomorrow with the new game. Don't forget to tune in at 4 PM. Set yourself a notification, 4 PM tomorrow on the 12th. We'll be doing a full run in the Pendolino, pre-recorded, but something to watch whilst you're downloading. Then at 5 PM, we've got a run on the 350 as a guard, which is very, very interesting. And there'll be a couple of tutorials that you can add to your list as well coming out tomorrow. Then I'll be live, so we'll get to chat about it in person. So until then, thank you again for watching. Take care, everybody, and I'll talk to you again pretty soon. Goodbye, TSW4.